Welcome to the Mexico Show. This episode of the podcast is made possible by my online Spanish courses over at mexicanfluency.teachable.com. There, I have a course for Spanish beginners, the Spanish Fundamentals program. This gives you everything you need to learn to begin your path to fluency in terms of both how to learn Spanish as well as core Spanish fundamental skills. If you're more advanced, check out the Spanish Immersion course. Gracias. Let's get started with today's episode. ¿Qué onda, chavos? What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of The Mexico Show, a podcast about all things Mexico. In this very first episode of the podcast, we are going to talk about COVID-19 in Mexico. So we're going to discuss a few things about what it's been like since the pandemic hit here. So I'm based right now in the state of Tamaulipas, Mexico, which is just east of the city of Monterrey. And I'm here visiting Reni, my girlfriend. We're at her family's house. And this is a podcast that I've wanted to create for a little while. A podcast that is about really all things Mexico, ranging from current events to cultural topics to topics, basic topics focusing on Mexican Spanish, and really just all things in between. So I think this would be a really great podcast for people who like to travel to Mexico, who are expats, digital nomads, people who just come down here even on vacation. If you're trying to kind of like expand your knowledge of the country as it stands today, and also maybe a little bit of history, this is definitely going to be a show that I think you'll really enjoy, and one that I know that we'll have a lot of fun making as well. If you are just strictly trying to learn Spanish, make sure to check out the Mexican Fluency podcast. That is our other podcast. It's an immersion podcast, 100% in Espanol. So that will help you a lot. Make sure to go check that out. But if you're going to stick around for the Mexico show, we're going to keep it 100% in English and touching on the topics that I just described. So let's dive right in. So right now I'm here in Mexico. First, do you actually want to say hi? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, hi everybody. I'm Mexican, so I'm gonna be introducing a lot of like culture topics and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'll definitely try to. I have a few different ideas of different people that I'd like to have conversations with, maybe even interview. So we'll dive into different topics for sure. But I know that Reni is somebody, when she has time, I want to hit her up because she can give, obviously, like growing up in Mexico her whole life, she can give really unique insight into different things down here. And even when we're back in the States, she obviously like maintains connections with Mexico. So we can discuss a lot of things from pop culture to history stuff to cultural stuff. And like I said, everything in between. So right now I'm back here in Mexico. It's been a year. I haven't been down here at all. I've been super busy this last year. And so I discovered when I got here that people here in Mexico in general are taking COVID really seriously. So tell us a little bit about like because you've been back here for several months now. You were visiting Texas. You've been back for several months. So tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first got back.
Well, first let's dive in the beginning. So
yeah, exactly.
Everything kind of like boomed or started bad in the U.S. in March. Because I was in New York in March when the pandemic hit, and it was very bad there. But here in Mexico, it was like we knew it was happening, but there weren't many cases. So I think like the boom here in Mexico was until May, more or less. Yeah, like in May.
Yeah.
May, June. And I came back by the end of June. So when I came back, everything was closed. When you arrived to the airport, they would take your temperature, make you a questionnaire. The grocery stores would close like at 5 p.m. and they were closed on the weekends.
On the weekends as well, the grocery stores?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just the evenings.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Even the grocery stores and the pharmacies. So
what do you think was the kind of... See, I don't think we saw that anywhere in the States, like where stuff was closing on the weekends. I remember... First, I was going to ask you, like, why do you think they did that? Like, what was the justification behind that? And number two, I know in the Riviera Maya, so Cancun, or maybe not Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Riviera Maya, Cancun, Merida, I think Merida as well, they shut down the sale of liquor
Yeah.
They wouldn't sell liquor.
No, I think they said they were going to,
Uh-huh.
and then people started like freaking out and buying
They did for a while. They definitely did
tons
for a
and
little
tons
while.
of beer. But then I think they didn't do it. I'm not sure. Here in Victoria, they didn't.
Oh no, not in Victoria, but in the Riviera Maya.
In the Riviera, probably.
I only know that because I'm like in these Facebook groups, these like expat, Mexican expat, digital nomad, Facebook groups, and they were bitching about it. Like, yeah, we can't buy beer, had to stock up in the very beginning.
They closed the beaches. Yeah. So all the beaches were closed. Bars, restaurants, everything was closed.
What was the idea behind the weekend thing here? What do you think?
I don't know. Probably like COVID likes to go out on the weekend, maybe.
It only comes out on the weekend.
I don't get the close on the weekend thing, because if you close the grocery store on the weekend, then people are just gonna wait until Monday, and then everybody's gonna go on Monday, so Monday is gonna be oversaturated, which is what you don't want.
So what about right now? Like, what's the current state of the COVID regulations and COVID as of the 24th of September? Right now?
So everything started like reopening slowly and stuff. So now the beaches are open. Americans can come to Mexico. They can fly and in and out.
Drive?
They can also drive. So the border is closed to us, Mexicans. So Mexicans cannot go into the United States.
Same with Canadians, as far as I know.
Same with Canadians. Yeah. Canadians cannot go into the United States. But if you're American or green card holder, you can come to Mexico and then go back without a problem. Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Yeah. So that kind of brings us up to like right now, like I said, like we're at the very end of September recording this. So coming down here for me, like flying in, I wasn't really that nervous flying or coming down in general, because I think like most of us, we've just kind of grown numb to the whole pandemic thing, wearing masks everywhere you go, even being on the plane with a mask. Like at this stage, it wasn't even that big of a deal. I was like, whatever, I have to wear a damn mask anywhere. Anyways, anytime I get out of the house. So, it wasn't that big of a deal. So one thing that was kind of cool is that when I was on the plane, Viva Aerobus, which is an airline that goes back and forth, it's a domestic and now an international airline. I was lucky enough to where it was just like I had a middle seat completely empty next to me. Everyone else on the plane, I would say probably like at least like a third of the people on the plane were wearing like the face shield, like the plastic face shield with the mask underneath. The stewardess were definitely wearing that. And especially like all the older Mexicans were definitely wearing the face shield covering the eyes and the nose, as well as the mask, which was pretty crazy. Like you don't really see that too much in the States for the most part. So, but once I got down here, things just like felt pretty normal. Like one thing that they do here a lot in Mexico is when you walk into a restaurant or a store or whatever, there's usually a person that's waiting, or in the gym. We go to the gym now here. And you walk through the door, and there is a guy you wear your mask, and the guy is waiting with the bottle of sanitizer, sanitizer gel. And he goes, you put your hand out, squirts in your hand. And it's almost like a little job that they invented for people working at grocery stores, restaurants, gyms, and they stand there. And then there's also this thing, again, I've never seen this in Austin, Texas. It's a foot sanitizer. So you walk and you put your foot hits, or your shoe hits the mat, and then it's kind of like a little scrubber brush, and you walk over the sanitizer and the scrubber brush.
It also has like Lysol on it, or some sanitizer.
To sanitize the bottom of your feet, which I thought I didn't understand what the hell it was. I was like, oh, it must be like a new shoe cleaner that is like in style here. Like, no, it's a sanitizer. I was like, all right, okay. I guess that will protect us from COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know if that really does anything or not, but maybe. I mean, I don't want to get sick. No one wants to get sick, but sometimes you kind of just have to laugh at how fucking ridiculous things are. What else? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about... So we're in the state of Tamaulipas right now, which is pretty much northeast Mexico. And we went to a beach that is on the east coast, so the Gulf. It's a tiny little town, so it's called La Pesca. They have a beach, and there's like a little river that kind of where we stay at the hotel. The river runs into the Gulf. It's pretty cool geographically. But when we went to the beach, tell them a little bit about like what were the regulations were. It was kind of bizarre.
Well, yeah, their new regulations are that you cannot take alcoholic beverage inside.
Yeah.
So they took our beer.
Yeah.
We had to leave it with the police officers, and they just asked us questions like if we were healthy, and then the beer, and then I think that was and that we have to enter with mask. But then when we're at the beach, we can take it off.
Yeah, so you're entering, like driving into the beach area, and you're in your car, but you have to wear a mask. Well, you talk to the guy. You do talk to the guy.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense to like wear a mask. But they're like, for me, it was hilarious because every time I come to Mexico, it's like there's rules, like, quotation mark rules, like for, just in general life, but like it's not. Everyone breaks the rules here, like everyone, like it's like but for this, like people are taking this really seriously in Mexico, which I was surprised by. Mm-hmm. Like people are wearing masks in their car. The guy at the beach, dead serious about us wearing a mask before we drove in. Mm-hmm. Dead serious about, for some reason,
leaving the beer.
We had to leave our beer. You couldn't take beer to the beach because of COVID. I'm still so damn confused about it.
Yeah, me too.
Like, what's the idea behind that?
I don't know.
Really?
Probably that you're gonna get stupid and then you're gonna go cough into somebody's face.
Yeah, and it was funny too because we got to this beach and there's it's literally me,
was a Monday.
her parents. It was a Monday. It was me, her parents, and then like there is probably not another person for 400 yards.
Yeah, probably.
Literally, probably 400 yards down the beach, maybe another family. So I was pretty mad at the time because I had like 2 beers before that. I was like, yeah, I haven't been to the beach forever. I'll sit on the beach, hang out with my girlfriend or family, have a couple of beers, swim. It was like, freezing cold beers. We just bought the ice and everything. I was like, all right. And we get there and the guy takes it. I'm like, God damn it, man. We had like some lukewarm water.
Yeah.
This isn't the same. But, yeah, what else? I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, okay. Do you know anything about like the death toll? Because I know, and it's all over the news in the U.S.
It's in 70,000 something.
70,000?
Yeah.
So in the U.S., they're claiming that it's 200,000 at this point.
Here's 70,000 something.
Do you believe the numbers?
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. I don't really want to go into, the politics about it.
Yeah, I don't either. Really.
Time.
Yeah, I don't either. No one really knows. I think that's kind of the thing. Is like, I'm a skeptic. I think there's a lot of reason in the U.S. for the numbers to be up, but in Mexico, I don't see what would the reasons be unless there's like government funding.
They're giving money. They're giving money to the families of the people that die of COVID. So if I say that...
Oh, really? The government is giving money to the families?
Yeah, so if my dad dies of a heart attack and then I like bribe the doctors and in the death certificate they put COVID, then the government's going to give me like 50,000 pesos or something like that.
Oh, that's interesting.
They give you a compensation for COVID debt.
Really?
So, yeah.
But do the hospitals get compensation? So I know in the U.S.
No, not the hospital,
the
patient. But, here's Mexico. I'm sure a lot of people is like, bribing some doctors or... whatever.
Yeah, it's similar to the skepticism behind the COVID numbers is kind of similar to the skepticism behind any science related global warming thing, where it's like where there's money, there's going to be corruption, and then that's why people question both data sets, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think. I'm not saying either way at all, especially not from Mexico. I have no idea. I find it super interesting. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Interesting. Cool. Well, what do you think? What's your prediction for the outcome? Not just COVID, but like how Mexico is going to handle things the rest of the year. What do you think?
My prediction is that the border is going to keep closed until next year.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to open so I can go to Austin in my car.
Well, that's the U.S. Mexico has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a political thing that they're discussing together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just Mexico either, it's Canada
It's
as well.
mostly influenced by Canada because if they open Mexico, they have to open Canada, and Canada doesn't want to open the border.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, that's all we got for this very first episode of the Mexico Show. I hope you liked the episode. If you want to give us feedback, make sure to give us feedback. Again, this is kind of the sister project of Mexican Fluency, the Mexican Fluency podcast. And we are all over social media. So if you want to contact us or check us out at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And this is going to be kind of like the side project of that, where I'm trying to just put some really cool topics together in English for all of you guys who maybe don't want to worry about like trying to learn Spanish while you're also learning about Mexico. I know a lot of you guys might not be interested in that at all. So this kind of gives you the option. So anyways, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. We're going to wrap this episode up. We're going to record another episode right after this, episode 2. So make sure to check that out as well. Bueno, muchas gracias. Eso es todo. That's all we got. See you guys in the next episode.